Hi there, everyone. This is Philip Vanderclay here with the National Diaper Bank Network. I'm the Director of Policy and Government Affairs. And joining me today is Kelly from Hope Supply Company in,
Hello.
in Texas. And just like we did with Vic a few weeks ago, we're going to talk about Lobby Day, which Kelly's super excited for, as you can see, which is awesome. I love it. So Kelly, why don't you tell us a bit more about yourself? And I believe last year was your first time at Lobby Day, right?
Yep.
And so why did you decide to come last year?
Yeah, so a little bit about me. I've been in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for about 30 years now, which is pretty crazy to say. I've been a nonprofit for 10 years. This is going on my 11th this year, so that's very exciting. And I've always been in programs or volunteer coordination, something along those lines. So I'm really excited to be part of Hope Supply Co. I've been in homelessness and housing, but not specifically diaper need before, so this is really cool. And so last year was my it was my first time at Lobby Day, which was really stressful, but also really cool because I was very worried. First time going in, I was like, I don't know what to say. They've already given me the rundown, but I don't know what I'm doing. And they're like, no,
Yeah.
no, no, it's fine. And they were right. It was fine. So I was very like, oh no, just kind of shaking with my little papers. But no, it was a really cool experience. And really gives you this really neat opportunity to learn not just about the person that you're going to meet with or people that you're going to meet with, but also about how it can expand your mission within your own agency. And that was really neat because that was something we at Hope Supply were considering, like, is this something we can think of doing? If we can, how can we make it work for us type of deal. So it was really neat to get that first experience and then come back this year with kind of some of that in mind.
That's great. So tell me a little bit more about those meetings that you had. How'd they go? Obviously, you had the whole packet of materials from NVPN and everything, but walk us through those meetings.
Yes. So the first thing I was not expecting was it to be so casual. And I was that person last year that was like, oh, but I have to wear heels, kind of thing. Cause I'm like, I'm going to represent Hope Supply. And this is my first time being here, giving off this good product. Do not wear heels. Okay. Don't be that martyr. Don't do it. Everyone wears
A
flats. Like,
lot of
it's the
walking on
thing.
Lobby Day.
I'm from Texas. We like to jack it up to Jesus kind of thing. So I was just trying to look nice. But no, I will not be wearing heels this year. But the meetings were great. So I met with a couple of our representatives and Mark Vesey and Colin Allred, and I got to meet with their aides. And it was really great because, again, I was really nervous because they're from my side of town, over the Fort Worth side of town. So they live in Arlington and Fort Worth, and that's closer to me. And I was like, that's kind of fun to think about as I'm standing in their big offices. And just wasn't expecting it to be so casual. And it truly was a conversation with the staffer. And the aides are really neat, just to learn about their stories and how they got to be where they are. And I think what was so touching was they genuinely care about what you're there to discuss. And either if they've heard, whether they've heard of diaper need or not, they're really nice at giving you their time, whether maybe they're not interested in hearing what you have to say at all, but they were very welcoming to us. And it was really nice also to go with some of my colleagues and go with them to their representatives for their respective state. And that was really neat too, because that kind of gave me some training and like, oh, I got an hour and a half to, bide my time until it's like, I'm the one that has to do all the talking. But it was great because it gave me that practice and I was able to, kind of tag team with another colleague. And that was fun. And I was not expecting that, even though I knew I was going to be kind of tagging along with a couple people and vice versa. But it was really nice because I was able to, meet my colleague, learn more about them. But it really was like we were together and we're like, yeah, diaper need, you have to know about this. So it was a really cool experience just all around.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah, you bring up some really excellent points. One, we do pair all the members of all the Lobby Day attendees with other people to go on a variety of meetings. So you get a great spectrum of different experiences with that. And they love hearing about what's going on in the district that they might not even know about. It's so valuable.
Very.
And then taking it back home, you have a really great group of partner agencies that I know you do a lot of work with and are involved with, and they were pretty excited to hear about your lobby day experience, weren't
Yes, very excited. And that was the nice part was we have within our partner agencies, we have what we call a strategic action leadership council. And it's basically made up of all the 7 counties that we provide diapers and baby supplies within. And they come from a variety of missions, counties, and sizes. So we're talking about big size partners that we have all the way down to all volunteer run staff partners. And we kind of made this group for them to really be like a think tank for us, because they're boots on the ground. So we don't do direct service here at Hope Supply. We just have a partnership model. And because of that, we really rely heavily on our partners to tell us, what's going on, what trends are you seeing? How can we be better partner with you to make sure that we're distributing as thoughtfully as possible? And it was really great. They were all over the lobby day. They're like, oh my gosh, what is that? What did you do? So I proceeded to explain what Lobby Day is, what its purpose is for, and why Hope Supply takes part in that every year. And they were really excited because they're like, oh my gosh, we should totally put on something like that for SALC, which is what we call this Strategic Action Leadership Council for short. And they're like, we should do something like that. So I'm really excited. And also working with the Texas State Coalition with a couple other diaper bank partners is very exciting, because I think that as we are one of the largest in the nation here at Hope Supply, it's becoming an issue where we're thinking, we can't no longer justify why we don't do that, and what are some things we can do to assist, because Texas, we're one of the largest states in the US, and we have a lot of need here. We have one of the highest child poverty rates, and so we just feel that that's part of our responsibility and part of our duties to ensure that our families are having some long-term systemic change, which is very important to us, because yes, we could throw diapers into a void all day long, but that's not really going to create meaningful change. And that's why I think the Lobby Day really speaks to us so much, is because it allows us that opportunity, and it allows us that exposure, which is very important, because especially if you're a small diaper bank or if you're all volunteer run, it's really hard to kind of get some of those connections. It is for us too, and we're one of the bigger ones. And so that was really meaningful for us to walk away with, cards in hand. More often than not, people really excited to say, oh my gosh, please email me. We would love to contact the local office and have them come. And so it was just a really cool experience to have just all together.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I think that's such a great point, is how you're able to take like the Lobby Day and the advocacy back home with you, and that partners were so excited to hear about it and to be a part of it and to replicate what you were doing, and you could take that experience back. And I think that's so great. And many of our members, I know, were on a webinar that we held last week, talking about the research that National Diaper Bank Network did recently, talking about diaper need as a broad and severe public health issue. And so just like you just said, that really ties in, because I have to work with government officials and elected officials, advocate with them to kind of bring all that together and really address it. So that's so key. So you're all registered. You're coming back to Lobby Day. So what made you decide to come back again, even after having that experience? And what are you kind of hoping to get out of this one?
Oh, the energy for sure. My goodness. Oh, it was so wonderful. Yes, no, we have to keep coming back, I think. Not just to speak with our local representatives, but also just in a broader aspect of kind of standing beside each other as members of the National Diaper Bank Network. And why will we not come back? But I'm excited for this year because it just, again, means I can talk to maybe a whole new group of people that has never been exposed to diaper need and what that is. And especially if that can be somebody that is a representative in my state. Awesome. I will sit down and talk to them until I'm blue in the face. But yeah, we're hoping to get this same type of energy pumped back out as we did last year, which I have no doubt we will. And just continue to carry on forward and thinking about strategic planning for Hope Supply and therefore our partners, and think about, again, in 2020 and beyond, how can we continue to, think of our families when we think about systemic change and creating something that's powerful, but that actually assists instead of trying to be a Band-Aid, maybe helping with a longer term solution, whatever that might be, because we all know that diaper need is a very complicated socioeconomic issue. So it doesn't rely on just one particular thing. It's a layered cake,
Yeah.
I guess,
Yeah.
of issues. So yeah, so we're very excited to again just replicate that energy, and so yeah, we're excited.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you. That's so well put. And we're really excited to have you come back. I think that's so valuable when members not just come, but then come back and can keep
Mhm.
developing those relationships with the representatives and the staff and keep raising awareness around diaper need. And one thing that I know I shared with you that's a big win is, and share it with everyone else, is that you mentioned Representative Mark Vesey, and we're having this great reception on lobby day, and his staff are already signed up to attend. And because of your awesome advocacy work,
Because they're
they're going to
amazing.
be there.
Yay, that's exciting.
And it just shows that this kind of stuff just keeps building and developing on itself. When you put it in, you just build those relationships, and more stuff
That's
keeps
right.
happening. And so just
Yes.
really wanted to say thank you for your awesome work.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time sharing with our other members about what you've been doing in your experience. Really looking forward to seeing you in DC. And like you mentioned, this work with this Texas, diaper banks and all of the other members, we'll just keep working on all this stuff together. It's going to be great.
We're excited. Hey, it takes a village, right? So
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks so much, Kelly.
Thank
Really
you.
excited. Appreciate you doing this.
Thank you so much.
All right. Take care.
Bye.